Have you tinkered with the ChatGPT?
I haven't yet.
Yeah.
My friends have. I'm in a WhatsApp group, and every so often they'll be but poor ChatGPT is just asked to write horrendous and obscene things.
There's never been a time where you just wrote in write a Hozier song.
I've seen people do that,
Okay.
and I've been sent the results.
Are they good?
I wasn't impressed.
Okay.
I'm being honest, I wasn't impressed.
Welcome to another Audacy check-in at the Hard Rock Hotel in New York with the best hair in the business, Andrew, otherwise known as Hozier. We're here for hair care tips, by the way. Your hair care consultants and friends. What is the process to keep these beautiful locks put together and flowing forever?
It's a wig. So yeah, and I just have a team. I just hand it at the end of the day.
A whole team.
I hand it to the hair people, and then they bring it back the next morning.
Yeah. We're older, wiser now. So Hozier, Hozier.
Hozwa?
Hozwa?
I would say Hozwa is a new one that's like newly coined. But I would say Hozier, like rhymes with cozier or nosier.
Yeah. It's amazing because you've been traveling around, bebopping in and around the States for a while, mainly because it's your birthday. And I noticed that maybe it's a great suggestion for any kid who's starting to be, rock star.
Yeah.
To go on a promotional tour during their birthday.
Yeah.
Because you get all the love, you get all the affection, you get all the gifts.
Yes. Yeah. It's just a me parade. Yeah. No, it's a lot of fun. I think I'm especially lucky that it is with St. Patrick's Day also. So to be in New York and then it's Paddy's Day, and then you kind of get, you can sort of celebrate that with people, and people are already up to celebrate.
So the reason I bring up is your birthday because, you're celebrating, 33?
33, yeah.
I think about how 10 years ago, being 23 years old, being able to write a song like Take Me to Church, and then it being the first real shot out of the gate for you. Yeah. When I was 23, I couldn't make a fist. So I don't know how you are putting that together. Do you look back on it and sort of like wonder, man, who was that kid?
Yeah, I kind of do. I think I'm blessed with an ability not to look back all too much, and a sort of a habit to avoid thinking too deeply about it. But the fact that it is 10 years is still a bit of a surprise. I can kind of scarcely believe that. But yeah, like the being 23, I think I was blessed then with I didn't have an audience at all. I didn't have any expectations. I had no reason to think anyone would hear the song, and so I was very free to just do whatever felt good at the time.
So now you fast forward to today. We're 4 years removed from your last album. Historically, very methodical about the way that you put together your songs, your sounds. What about this process was different about maybe 10 years ago or even the last album?
Yeah. Writing for me was always it was something I did on my own. It's very isolated, kind of very solitary exercise. I will say on this one, I sort of opened up, and it was post-pandemic as well too. I was kind of just ready to work with other people's energies, having spent enough time with my own. And so yeah, I jammed a lot of music with, in particular with Dan Tannenbaum, an art producer. Dan, he goes by Bacon. Out in LA.
Of course he does.
Bekon, Bacon. He's an amazing producer. And his team of guys is Pete Gonzalez and Daniel Krieger and stuff, and a whole host of dudes. And we just jammed, like as if somebody on guitar, somebody on drums, somebody on keys, and we just made noise. And it felt very old school, it felt very free. And so when you say methodical, it wasn't terribly methodical.
Interesting.
It was just like, let's see what happens.
That's pretty different though, huh?
I've never done that before. Yeah.
So when you talk about this new album, of course, I think that at this point it's well-worn path that there's some Dante Inferno stuff happening here, right?
A little bit. There's some subtle references, but the way I structured the album, it more so. So that album that poem, like the Dante's Inferno, is about this guy gets lost on a journey, and he the only way to kind of get to the other side of this journey is helped by this other poet who lived long before him, who walks him through hell. But he imagines that hell has 9 circles, and he walks through these 9 circles. And so I just arranged the album as kind of opening with a bit of a descent, and then structured the themes of the songs into their 9 circles, and then an emergence at the end of it. So
why did you choose that? There had to be some sort of thing that struck you, some sort of fire was struck in you, no pun intended, but where did it come from? How did it start?
There's a few little things. I think during the pandemic I had a lot of time to myself, a lot of free time, and there's a few pieces of literature that I always had sort of felt, okay, well, I should read this, or I wanted to read it, and I had a sort of an interest in some poetry, or some epic poetry, some like long form poetry stuff. So there, you know, and there's some imagery and some language in that in particular that sparked my interest. And at the time, it was a very surreal time. Like, I suppose Inferno is something of like it's kind of like a spirit quest. It's kind of like an imagined, you know, Dante never walked through hell, you know, like, but it's a kind of an imagined sort of dream quest, I suppose. But at that time, when I was first kind of reading it, it was a weird time, a lot of isolation. But you were sort of sitting at home and hearing news reports about numbers, death toll, etc., and case numbers, and it just seemed incredibly surreal. Trying to describe, I think everybody went on in that 2 or 3 year period, went on something of a journey for themselves. The ground shifted. We found ourselves in new conditions, new circumstances, and people changed stuff that maybe wasn't working for them. Things altered for people. People lost things a great deal, and it felt like an interesting way to credit that without it being like a lockdown album or a pandemic album. Mm-hmm. So it just credits that element of having the journey of the last 3 years.
I mean, that's much smarter than me. That's very. Have you tinkered with the Chat-GPT?
I haven't yet.
Yeah.
My friends have. I'm in a WhatsApp group, and every so often they'll be but poor ChatGPT is just asked to write horrendous and obscene things.
There's never been a time where you just wrote in write a Hozier song.
I've seen people do that,
okay,
and I've been sent the results.
Are they good?
I wasn't impressed.
Okay.
I'm being honest, I wasn't impressed. I'd love to say, oh, it's interesting. It's not. It's crap. It's really boring, and it's just like, sorry. Yeah.
Good.
But, yeah.
Still jobs. I appreciate it.
There's still jobs out here. Yeah.
One of the great things about the album, in the way that you talk about it, going through all of these layers of things together, one of which, you know, eat your young being gluttony, you know, those delicious babies, you know, but yeah, the gluttony level of it is something that we can all, and I can imagine if the whole album is like this, all of these stories and analogies are transferable, huh?
Totally. And I started joking. I was like nodding. Like going, yeah, those delicious babies.
Delicious babies, of course.
But the actual, I was just thinking about the Irish, like, because I wrote that very much more so from an Irish perspective as well too. Of like, a lot of my I feel like I'm very, very lucky to have been to find the audience that I have and to be as successful as I am. But a huge portion of my generation are just like locked out of any sort of home ownership or any upward mobility whatsoever. And it's exactly that. It is that eat your young type thing. You know, it's kind
of that's everywhere. I'm so happy to see you. I'm so excited for the album. Thank you for spending some time with us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, great to chat to you.
And then whatever hair care tips you have, I'll take them.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Talk to the team.
Thank you.